Of course. Yeah. All right, let's talk about what's going on there. Like, you've been in some tense buildings before. You've been in some buildings that have been on edge. Are they either of those? Is the building tense or on edge this week?
Not in my opinion. No. I've done plenty of interviews. Hey, it's the way the cookie crumbles in the National Football League. So 67 games decided by 7 points or less, and yes, it's a gut wrench, but it counts as one loss. So if it gets tapped down, it's a Bears win, and it's a 4-game winning streak. So what I am choosing to take out of this game is how Caleb Williams brought the team back. A couple drives after starting slow, finished with 10 completions, and still managed to put the team in a position to win. And very well should have won the game in the end, despite not playing a brand of winning football that is going to get you through the rest of the season. They fought their way through it. I'm encouraged by that. But, yeah, it stinks how they lost, absolutely, and no one's going to forget it, but you got to for the next game because, again, it's cliche. I said it in the broadcast. I've heard it 100 times already this week. Don't let one become two.
JJ, at some point, they have to win on the road, and they have to learn how to beat the teams that are above 500. They have to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a part of the process. Absolutely. These are dominoes that have to fall to in order to get back on top of the NFC North. And so they, became real close to getting that first one this season, and this one in Arizona is not going to be simple by any stretch. I'm not super impressed with their defense at all, but I am super impressed with the Cardinals. They play hard. They're going to make you work for it. And so they got a lot of injuries up front on the defensive line. And offensively, the Bears' defense is going to have to dig in because they have some dudes that can make things happen. So both in the run and the passing game, and obviously Kyler Murray. But, yeah, this is a game I feel is pretty darn important to get this one. Headed home for 3 straight and into the thick of the schedule. This is an NFC game, and those matter in terms of tiebreakers. So you may see these teams again.
Jeff, like with everything that did go wrong with this play here or that play there, the thing that I thought got lost and the bigger picture issue is they didn't seem ready to play at the beginning, and I was expecting the exact opposite. I was excited the way they finished. I thought the week in London, which you highlighted with Ryan Poles, went as well as it could have gone. I thought they were going to build on the momentum. I thought they were going to use the bye week to come out and get better. Eberflus even identified that, hey, we've got to use this to figure out why we're not scoring early and playing with the lead. I think Caleb Williams has played a quarterback 29% of the time with a lead. So most of his snaps come either in a tie game or from behind. Why do you believe, and let's talk specifically about this game, why do you believe they struggled so much coming out of the bye week?
I don't have an answer to that. They have not started well virtually all season. So they have, 3 points on opening possessions, 10 for the season. And it's an age-old question in the league. If you're not doing it, the constant asking of why, and I don't know the answer to it. So, it's the early, just trying to find completions. That's important. When you have 10 completions for the game, if it's your first progression, take it. Just keep moving the ball. Just keep moving the ball, and you'll figure it all out down the road here. Philadelphia hasn't scored a point in the first quarter this year. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Wow.
They've got 0 points, and they're 5-2 and tied for the NFC East lead. So, it's not just – that's Jalen Hurts and an established offense. So, this is it's hard to explain. It really is because it doesn't make sense. They got the Vikings have 72 points in the first quarter. All right? Think about that gap, 0 to 72 in the league in the first quarter. So I think, when you get it going, sometimes you only get a possession or two in the first quarter, too. That's the other thing, I don't remember how many possessions they had, but if you get one long drive and another long drive, and the Bears didn't have that actually in this game, but, your number of possessions also could lead to a disparity in the analysis of what kind of first quarter scoring you get. But, yes, it would be great to have them play. It'd be great for the defense to be able to play on a lead. It'd be great for Caleb to play on a lead and have sustained success that way. But it just hasn't materialized, and I'm not smart enough to figure that out. No way.
More concerned with the offensive line in a game in which Tevin Jenkins graded out fantastically. He comes away hurt. Braxton Jones comes away injured. Bill Murray is put on IR. JJ, such an uncomfortable situation with Nate Davis, and now I know that they have been saying the right things, that he knows we're going to need him eventually. Is it that simple to just go back to Nate Davis now?
I don't know who's going to be able to play number one. Obviously, you got to throw Karan Amagaji in there too, because he didn't practice again today with the calf. So, and Ryan Bates is coming back, and Larry Borum is on his way back. So they're going to have options. Just find five, and again, you're going to have to start a new wave of the same five, because that continuity is going to be important. I think what they're doing, they could have easily moved prior to tackle in that game if they needed to, or move him on the other side of the offensive line. But I think what they're doing, keeping him with Darnell Wright on the right side, at least up to this point, I don't know what they're going to do on Sunday, is a good idea, because those two together, they're starting to really get some chemistry on that side of the line. Shelton's been solid and getting better each week at center. Yeah, I mean, this is why you have to prepare everybody the same way, and you got to have a deep offensive line to draw from in order to get through a season. And so,
what would you do, Jeff? So let's say Braxton Jones doesn't play. How would you line them up then?
I don't know. I mean, assuming everybody that I just mentioned is not going to play, gosh. I mean, you don't have many choices.
No.
So you don't have many choices. If I'm a guy,
well, Larry Borum could be back, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but again, and he's played it. He started there, and he should be healthy by now. But Mark, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I got to think that one through here. I got to give that some thought. I don't know.
Did you mention Nate Davis?
Yeah, Nate's not going to play tackle.
No. But are you moving?
Listen,
you
man,
move some guys for this game and then put Nate back, or are you trying to trade him and do you not want him to play and get hurt? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. You got to worry about the game in front of you.
Right. That's what I'm asking.
Listen, man, everything is on the table right now, right here. So this is a team that is feeling like they are going to be a good contending team down the stretch here, that they're going to continue to grow together offensively. The defense is playing and humming at a high level. So, hey, all hands on deck. I don't care what the situation has been. If Nate Davis is, as they say, taking this thing and making sure he's getting ready mentally and physically, then, yeah, if he's healthy and he needs to be out there, he needs to be out there. That's it.
Well, what about Brisker, Jeff? We heard your interview last week on our pregame show on the Bears Radio Network, where Poles said he wasn't concerned, but now we're going on. Sunday's going to be 4 weeks since the hit, and it's not often you hear of a player who has missed maybe 4 weeks with a concussion. And I know it's not 4 games because there was the bye week, but still. You worry about his long-term health. You worry about his brain. And then you have guys that you need to plug in. And if he's going to be able to play again at a high level. So do you think there's more concern over what's happening right now with the length this is going?
I mean, just on its own, if you're just like you're analyzing right now, and I'm saying, that does seem like a long time. However, I'm going to trust what Ryan had to say. He knows more about it than I do and that we do. So if he said he's not worried, not too worried, then I'm going to have to go with him. But to my knowledge, and I don't know that anybody said this, and if they have, I've missed it, has he not been cleared in the concussion protocol to practice? That's the big question. So I haven't heard that he is or he isn't. So, it seems like a lot. But you gotta take these things and evaluate them based on whether or not they're cleared, and there are specific protocols. And if he's not passing those protocols, then he's not going to play.
And one thing that we know the NFL does not have is a number of concussions that once you reach this number, you're not allowed to play. It's all up to the doctors whether or not you can pass their tests. But, JJ, remember, what was that, 10, 12 years ago when Hunter Hillenmeyer ended up retiring because of what he called, after suffering several concussions, he went to see 3 independent doctors, and they all told him the same thing, and that was now that was a long time ago. A lot has changed, but I just keep going back to Hunter Hillenmeyer and how crestfallen and heartbroken he was that he knew he had to call it quits because his effects were still lingering, and the doctors told him that it was time to give it up.
Right, I remember that actually, and that was right after it was in 2010.
Was that when it was? I couldn't remember when it was.
He had a bad concussion. I think it was early in 2010, and then he was retired after that. But yeah, I mean, I know it seems like a long time and everything, and we're worried about it, and we hope he's completely fine and that he can work his way through this. And but I don't want to start projecting like something like that. Let's just see how the rest of the week goes and see if he can clear concussion protocol. But yeah, these are serious topics, and they got to be discussed and handled properly.
I'm going to add just one personal note here. My daughter suffered a prolonged concussion, which is what they call it now, in gymnastics. And she was still feeling the effects of it, and she did not return to activity. And she was a pretty high-level gymnast. She did not return to activity for 9 months. And she missed an entire month of school. So when you think it's a bruise on the brain, and you have to let the bruise heal, period. And as long as after that you don't have any more symptoms, it's okay. The problem is when they come back too soon, the bruise is not healed. That's when it gets worse. That's when they start piling on top of each other because it wasn't healed the first time, the earlier time. So just a little personal note there. I do know a little bit something about prolonged concussions.
Okay, good stuff, Peggy. Jeff, anything else we need to know from today?
Oh, what else today?
Who do you got on the show tonight?
Well, we've got a potpourri of stuff, some of the podium stuff, just angling towards the preview of this Arizona game because, again, I'm underscoring the importance of it. This Arizona team, you don't want them feeling great about their situation, but they won back-to-back games for the first time since 2021, and so they're getting a little mojo going with that quarterback. All 4 of their losses to good teams, 5-2 or better, so Buffalo, Detroit, Washington, and Green Bay. So Bears got to go in there and prove they're one of the best teams in the NFC North as well, and slam the door on them. But we'll have T.J. Edwards, and just a bunch of other interviews. Chad Morton on the play so far here in the last 4 weeks, anyway, or last 5 weeks of DeAndre Swift. He's been a big component of the Bears' offense, and hopefully just scratching the surface. So that's what's coming up at 6:30.
This is our last conversation you and I will have on Waddle and Sylvie before the trade deadline. We will talk on the Bears pregame show. I will actually be with you in the booth.
Right, I got your credential. I'll be dropping it in the mailbox tonight. I'll show up as myself. And
do you want some candy?
I will take a candy bar.
Yeah, we'll let you have your choice.
All right.
So my question for you is make a prediction really quick. Will the Bears make an addition on before the trade deadline?
This is just my gut instinct.
Yeah, it's
Nobody's
your prediction.
telling me anything.
No, it's a prediction.
And it's more so less a prediction and more a hope. I don't want them to do anything that's going to jeopardize what they have in terms of assets moving forward, because there are still some things this team needs of prominence in the future drafts, especially this coming draft. So, yeah, I'm not expecting anything crazy, if that helps you. Big name or anything like that. I don't see it happening.
Okay. All right. We will see you tonight and then in Arizona. Thank you.